Some people think enabling two-step verification and using any password is just enough to keep their account secure. But sadly, this is not the case, because we've seen so many social media accounts getting hacked in recent times. And the reason is because of something they call session hijacking or cookie hijacking. So I'm going to explain what that is, how you can get affected by it, or how you can fall victim for it. And I'll also explain how you can prevent yourself from becoming a victim. There's a popular YouTube channel that talks on YouTube growth. That's Think Media. Think Media's podcast channel just got hacked, and it's not because they didn't have two-step verification. I mean, YouTube makes it mandatory for you to have two-step verification on your account, but still the account was hacked. And how was it hacked? It was hacked because of cookie hijacking or session hijacking. Now let me explain what it is to you in a clear terms that you understand. So basically, let's put it this way. There's a particular room that has a door and a lock. So that particular door has about 2 locks. So it has 2 steps. Before you enter, there is a lock. So you have to unlock that first lock, and then before you enter again, you have to verify with a fingerprint. So basically, that door has 2 types of locks. It has the normal key lock, and then it has the fingerprint lock for you to gain access to the room. So see it as your password and your social media account, or any account or any website. So the lock is your password, and then the biometrics or fingerprint is your 2-step verification. So it's going to be difficult for someone who does not have your thumbprint or the key to get inside that room. So that is the same thing that applies with 2-step verification. Now imagine someone who has access to the key. That's the legitimate room owner. The person has access to the key and the fingerprint. The person opens the door, puts his fingerprint, and enters the room. And perhaps the person did a lot of stuff in the room and has to be going out of the room, going in and going out of the room. The person wouldn't want to ordinarily go out, then lock the door, go out, then come in, lock the door again. It would be very stressful for the person to keep on doing that. So the person could decide, oh, I just want to pick something outside the room. The person leaves the door open, goes out to pick the stuff, comes back in, goes out to pick the stuff, comes back in. So what is happening that time is, or what during that duration is called a session. What is happening there is a session. You have a session when you're accessing your room, and a session when you are exiting the room to pick up some stuff, probably to bring it back in the room. So during that period, an unauthorized person could enter or gain access into the room when you are not there. So, and once they're in the room, they can do anything, they can take anything from the room. So look at that unauthorized person as a hacker. You might have a social media account or your YouTube account, for example. If you log in with your password, you gain access to your account, and then perhaps you are done with accessing your social media platform. Maybe you like some videos, you say some highs, you say some goodbyes, and then you just close your browser. What you did is, or you don't even close your browser, you just shut down your laptop. What you did is just like leaving the room without locking the door, and then perhaps you want to revisit that particular social media platform, and you just reopen your browser and it continues from where you stopped. That is called a session. I just hope this explanation is something you would understand. So this is one of the ways hackers could gain access to your social media account. During that period when you've already logged in, they can gain access to your account. Now I'm going to explain how cookies work, or what cookies are. So cookies basically lets website identify you as you spend time online, and they are most beneficial for websites that have return users. If you have ever gone to a weather website and it remembers your location based on your last visit, that is an example of a cookie. For example, when you visit or when you log into a website or an application like a social media account or your profile on a retail website, your browser knows that you logged in, and thanks to the temporary section, or what they call cookies, set by the server, that section means that you can still logged into the site as you browse it and click through different pages. So without cookies, you have to log back in every time you open a new page on that website. For example, let's use Facebook for example. You click on the Facebook groups menu, and you access the Facebook group menu. The moment you decide to access another menu on that Facebook web app or website, if you want to access your page menu, you have to re-log in again to access the page menu. So you can see how that will be stressful. So this is where cookies come to play. With cookies, you don't need to do that. You don't need to always re-log in when you want to access a particular web page. So yeah, it is convenient, but it leaves you more vulnerable to cookie hijackers. So if a hacker gains access to your session ID, they can visit the same places you did on that website pretending to be you. Let me just explain what cookie hijacking is. So basically, cookie hijacking is also called, you can also call it session hijacking. It's a way for hackers to access and steal your personal data, and they may also prevent you from accessing certain accounts. Hijacking cookies is just as powerful as finding out your password. It's possible that with cookie hijacking, hackers can gain limitless access to all your resources. For example, an attacker may steal your identity or confidential company data, purchase items, or steal from your bank accounts. So how does cookie hijacking work? Cookie hijacking can occur when a malware program waits for a user to log into a website. Then the malware steals the session cookie and sends it to the attacker. So for those that are not cautious about whatever you download or whatever links you click on, if you download a malicious software, a Trojan, it can steal your cookies and you end up getting your account hacked, and you notice that someone has gained access to your social media account. So a cookie attack is often initiated when an attacker sends a user a fake login. The victim clicks the fake link, and this lets the attacker steal that cookie. So actually, anything that the user types in can be captured by the attacker. The attacker then puts that cookie in their browser and is able to act as you. So they steal your cookie from your own browser, and then they use it on their own browser, and it gives them immediate access. So they don't need to put in any password. Once they steal that cookie and they just put it in their browser, it takes them to your home page or your web page, and then it is as if it's you that is accessing it, but on the other hand, it's a hacker that is accessing it. So once the attacker has a user section cookie, they can log into a website and do pretty much anything you could do, including changing your password. And if it's sometimes it's always automated, so it happens in just seconds. If the attacker can also enable two-step verification on your own account, and the owner of that account may never gain access to the account again. So there are different types of cookie hijacking methods. There are people that use brute force, there are people that use malwares, there are people that use what they call SQL injections. I don't want to go in depth in all those things. If the malware infects your computer or your website, it can spy on you and also record your browser section. So now I know by now you should understand what it is based on the analogy I've given so far and the explanation I've given so far. Then how do you prevent cookie hijacking? Prevention of this type of hack could be a bit difficult, but it could also be easy if you are aware of the ways to prevent it, and if you are aware of the type of cookie hijacking threat. So you know the type of threats and the propagation means, how they can be propagated. So the first way, or the first thing you need to do, is to have your multi-factor authentication. Yeah, most times, or unfortunately, this type of attacks used to bypass multi-factor authentication, but it is better to still have multi-factor authentication, because then it makes it difficult than when you don't have any form of multi-factor or two-factor authentication enabled on your account on your website. So it does not mean you should not use two-factor authentication. You can use it, but the education is very much important here. If you click on fake links, regardless of, or if you click on phishing links or malicious link, regardless of whatever form of two-factor authentication you have, they would still bypass your account, and they will still gain access to your account and act as you. Then the second thing we need to know, aside enabling multi-factor authentication, is we need to be educated. We need to improve our cybersecurity hygiene. If you don't improve your cybersecurity hygiene, if you just feel like you have an antivirus and so your antivirus will keep you safe, or you have two-step verification, it will keep you safe, trust me, these days hackers and all these malicious actors already know how to bypass all those things. So it's not just enough to have solutions and you think solutions will keep you safe. Technology is not the weak link, but humans are the weak links. So even if you have if you have all those antivirus, VPNs, whatever you might call it, password managers, if you are still not if your cyber security or cyber hygiene is still poor, you would get affected. So everyone should know how to spot a fake link, and often you should know when a web address has a form of misspelling. You look at any website you're trying to visit. If it's the phishing link, don't just, oh, you want to purchase something, seeing the image of the website and it looks like the one you are familiar with, and you immediately click on the link. That is the wrong thing to do. So look carefully. You might see there might be a link that will be spelled twitter.com without the second T in the Twitter, and then the moment you click on it and input your details, you might not even need to input any details. The moment you click on that link, as long as you are logged in your browser, or if you've accessed Twitter before on your browser, the moment you click on that link, it steals your cookies. That's all they need. So you need to be careful about that. Then there are other digital hygiene you should follow. Check the URL. So every website or any website you are visiting should have a HTTPS. If the website if it does not have that HTTPS, if it's HTTP, then don't visit it at all, because it is not safe. First of all, it's usually used by malicious actors or malicious or hackers, and also aside that, it's easy for hackers to spy and get information from whatever any information that is being put there will be in clear text. Any credit card details, any passwords can easily be seen. There's no encryption at all in any HTTP site without the S or without the padlock symbol. Then you should use only safe connections. Don't just rush to connect to public Wi-Fi's, or you see any Wi-Fi outside there and it's free, then you're connecting. The moment you connect, there's sometimes hackers purposely set up all these Wi-Fi so that people will connect, and they make it free. So the moment, because they know people will surely connect to it, so please just try to avoid that. Then this is like the most important thing to prevent session or cookie hijacking. Trust me, this is the most important thing. Always log off when you are done. Whenever you're done on a website, log out. It's simple, because if you use Facebook on your laptop, on your browser, maybe when not when you're using the app, if you use maybe Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any website, and then you have to log in on your browser, once you are done with it, just go ahead and log out. Because if you just close the browser, or if you just close the browser, you've not logged out. Anybody could still steal your cookies. If you mistakenly click on any strange link, or if the website is vulnerable, your cookies will be hijacked. So make sure you log out. Once you log out, even if they steal your cookie or your section ID, they wouldn't be able to do anything with it, because it will be logged out and they will need to put in the details which they don't have. So always make sure you log out. Then it's important to also set your browsers to automatically log you out when you close it. You can do that in your browsers. I will do a video which I'll link in the description on how to do that, or in the comment section on how to automatically delete cookies from your browser. So if you close your browser immediately, the next time you need to access that website, it will request you to put in your password or your details. Okay, so another thing is delete your cookies. Okay, you can set your browsers to automatically clear your cookies and make sure that there's no leftover of any browsing activity or data. So you can set your browser that way if you want to. Then using a VPN is really important, but it's not mandatory, because it's not really, that one is not really mandatory. But personally, I use a VPN, and I would advise you to get a VPN. If you don't have a VPN, you can use some of those free versions that are out there, but I use a paid version. If you are interested in that, the link is in the description. So you can use a paid VPN if you want to use that. The VPN just basically gives you some sort of advanced protection, because VPN means virtual private network. VPN means virtual private network. So it hides your IP address and reroutes your traffic through an encrypted passageway. So no one, you could be in Nigeria today, you could be in US tomorrow, you could be in another country, so it's difficult for them to steal your cookies. Because the moment, if you use a Nigerian cookie, for example, if you use a Nigerian a Nigerian location in your VPN, and then someone steals your cookie and the person is in US, it will immediately log out because the person is in a different location. So that's the usefulness of VPN. So for those that are website owners also, you need to try to make your website safe. Install SSL certification, use HTTPS. Okay, make sure you get SSL. For those that have websites, WordPress websites, you can make sure you have SSL applied to your website. So make sure your website has that padlock symbol. You can check the description for the SSL I use for my website. Okay, you can if you want to, but it's really important to have, because if people don't see the padlock symbol on your website, people would not want to visit your website because they will assume it's not safe. And also it's good for you to have that padlock symbol, because every form of communication is encrypted and no hackers can easily intercept anything there. Then you can use anti-malware solutions and good plugins that will help your security. So let me just finally answer some questions that people asked me. Some people said, okay, what can hackers actually do with your cookies? Well, let me tell you, they can do a lot with your cookies. So think of any personal information you fill on websites, like your username or your password or your credit card information, your address, etc. Once a hacker gains access to your session cookies, they can basically act as you. If you are logged into your bank account, for example, they can set up a transfer and drain your account and move the funds into their own. And when they can change the password, so you can't access your bank account at all. So this is why most people, I'm sure this has happened to most people using Facebook accounts and YouTube accounts. They've noticed this happening to them a lot. So some people are asking that question: how come even with two-factor authentication my account got hacked? Oh, Facebook security is useless, YouTube security is useless. It's not always the case. The malicious actors are the ones to blame. So you just need to make sure you are careful, and because there's nothing those security companies, or there's nothing those companies can do when these malicious actors are always trying to bypass the security that are there. So another thing someone could ask, or you might want to ask, is, I know when I visit a website it will tell me accept cookies. So can you get hijacked if you accept cookies? Well, sometimes you are most vulnerable when you are on an unsecured or public Wi-Fi, like maybe in a coffee shop or a mall or in an airport. But there's no security on any Wi-Fi connection to stop hackers from accessing whatever they can. So you can accept cookies if you want to accept cookies. It's not really bad to accept cookies, but most times most websites would tell you the type of cookies that they're collecting also. So you have to know the type of cookies you are giving. There are some cookies that just help you for the browser performance, so that your browser will perform well with the website, something like that. Why there are some cookies that collect your data. So make sure you know the type of cookies you are accepting. If not, don't just accept it, don't bother accepting it. The third question people are asking is, how do I clear cookies? Well, most browsers have an option for you to delete your history and data, so you should be able to delete everything, or you can opt to only delete your cookies and site data. So it's up to you. You're also probably able to set this up to happen automatically. You can, like I said, there will be a video in the description, or if it's not there at the moment you're seeing this video, I'll create that video for how you can automatically clear your cookies after visiting any website. So my final thoughts on cookie hijacking or session hijacking is that protecting yourself online goes beyond just having hard to guess passwords or deleting your browser history when you are done for the day. You have to protect your session cookies too, though most people don't even realize how vulnerable this makes them. Cookies store a ton of valuable information. All that information you are trying so hard to protect in other ways. If you run an organization of any size, it should definitely utilize multi-factor authentication. But it's also necessary to know that it is not foolproof. It is not a foolproof option. You need several layers of security to stay safe against cookie hijacking. and multi-factor authentication is only one of those layers. So I think that's all I have to share with you in this video. Yeah, I know the video is longer than I expected it to be, but this gives you an insight on what cookie hijacking is and what session hijacking is. You can always go back and watch this video from the beginning to understand more about it, but ultimately and most importantly, I think the best thing to do is just try to get a VPN and always log out from any websites that you visit. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. For those that don't know what this channel is all about, we teach you how to have a good cybersecurity hygiene, we expose online scams, and we just teach you all cybersecurity things you need to know in a way that is relatable and very understandable. Thank you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Remember to stay safe. Bye guys. Yeah, don't forget to leave a like also. Yeah, I forgot that.